Okay, hello everyone. My name is Laquan Williams, and today in this video, I'm going to be doing my review for the last current and most recent Legends of Tomorrow, DC Legends of Tomorrow episode that was aired on the 2nd of February 2022, a couple of days ago, specifically on Wednesday. Today is Friday, on the CW TV network. Obviously, the Legends of Tomorrow are in their seventh season. It's looking like there might not be an eighth, but it's kind of in the limbo because, as you guys know, the CW TV network is about to be bought. Actually, as in the process of being sold because AT&T kind of like sold Warner Brothers or something like that. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but anyways, they've been sold, and this might be one of the shows that's not looking to be renewed. I actually don't know yet. There was talks, obviously, about the other CW TV network show that's been on at the exact same time. Actually, well, around the same time, but just The Flash has been on about a year, I guess you could say almost a year and a half longer. The Legends of Tomorrow, it was obviously first. Grant Gustin, who plays Barry Allen on the show The Flash, obviously, the actor. Grant Gustin is apparently supposed to be in talks and negotiations to do a ninth season for The Flash, which could mean that the last season would be the ninth one, which it's currently in its eighth one. It's on its break. It's going to be picking back up actually in a couple of weeks. In March, actually, that's when it's picking back up. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Obviously, when the Flash returns next month, which is I think it's March 13th or the 14th. I forgot. I wrote the date down. I have it here written down somewhere, right here on the papers I have down to remind me about obviously all the shows that are airing very soon. So Legends of Tomorrow picked this current episode to talk about this, but the whole situation with the CW TV network, obviously, and these shows being renewed or canceled. The Legends of Tomorrow might get a last and final season. It might be eighth. It'll be eighth. The final season will be the eighth one. It'll obviously be cut down and short. I was already obviously knowing that was going to happen. Obviously, like I've said previously in my other videos, because the last two seasons, the episode order has been cut down in twos. Last year's episode season, excuse me, the previous season, which was season 6, had 15 episodes. This episode has 13. Episode 5 had about 14, I believe, in one special episode. So if they actually do a final eighth one, if it actually gets one, it'll be 8 to 10 episodes. But I obviously knew that was going to happen in the first place because, like I said, every season, the last two seasons, the episodes have been cut down shorter by 2. This obviously is I guess you could say, more proof that it could happen because they obviously Warner has sold the CW TV network to, I don't know who, but anyways, like I said, new ownership. These shows will probably get their last seasons, obviously, with The Flash, and obviously Legends of Tomorrow as well. The other new shows on the network, such as obviously Superman and Lois, which is in its current second season. The first season of Naomi is on. It's just airing. I think they're in their third or fourth episode. Obviously, there's Stargirl and Batwoman, and I forgot what other shows that they have, but I think that's it so far. Stargirl, Batwoman, Superman and Lois, and obviously Naomi. They're supposed to be making some other new shows as well, and a live-action Powderpuff Girls show that's supposed to be coming out this year finally, probably at the end of the year, after it was put on hold / ice because Chloe Bennett, who played Earthquake / Quake / Sky, who played the character on the Marvel show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the actor Chloe Bennett, who played obviously Earthquake, she quit the show, so they're looking to replace her with somebody else, obviously, to add to the two other girls who will be with her as the three Powderpuff Girls, obviously. So that's what's going on with the CW TV network. Obviously, it's been a big, huge mess for the past couple of years, obviously. Obviously, with these shows staying on longer than you would expect, even with the ratings falling down, even with Supergirl, I just finished finally a couple of months ago, their ratings have gone down the drain tremendously. Obviously, if you look on their Wikipedia page and also TV by the numbers, you can see how the ratings are bad. Also, the opening to Naomi, the first episode, didn't do so well, so I don't know how that's going to happen. But more than likely, as you can see, and like I've said before in previous videos, the CW TV network doesn't really care about that. Even with the new ownership, I don't think anything will change. When these shows stay on for 6, 7, 8 years and they just have terrible ratings, so they'll just keep getting renewed. That's the one thing about this show, this network, which I was pissed off about. I still am, obviously, that they didn't give John Constantine his own show. But they'll run the Legends of Tomorrow into the ground and beat a dead horse over and over again for 78 years. But John Constantine can't have his own show on the network because they didn't want to do it. So they're just going to throw him on Legends of Tomorrow as another cast member to the 7, 8, 9 people that they have on there that are all superheroes, even though not all of them have superpowers. Now, obviously, 5 years later, he's gone. He's obviously not on the show anymore because they killed his character off because HBO Max has taken the rights to the character John Constantine. J.J. Abrams is going to be producing a show on HBO Max that is going to be a dark Constantine show, Hellblazer / Constantine, John Constantine, and Matt Ryan cannot no longer play that character anymore. That's why you don't see him here. He's in on the show still, but he plays Dr. Gwen Davies, who's a British professor, so he's still playing a British character because he is British himself. But he's currently on the picture right here with the rest of the cast. He's on the back at that the time travelers bar where they were at. So basically, in the last episode, continuing off with this one, the Legends of Tomorrow arc. This is season 7, episode 11. There's 2 more episodes to go this season because the season only has 13 episodes for the 7th season, which could possibly be the last one. Which I wouldn't be mad about because, like I've been saying previously, that the show's like gone down the drain tremendously in the last couple of years, and it's not fun anymore. But I'm still gonna watch it to the end because I've been watching it since it first aired, literally the first episode. Because I was obviously already watching that Green Arrow and the Flash, and they were all on the shows, and they collaborate with each other. Then the characters bled out into this, obviously with Sarah Lance primarily only. And obviously Captain Cold and Heatwave, who used to be on the show, who were villains on the Flash, were on the Legends of Tomorrow, obviously Wave Rider ship, but they're no longer here anymore. They're both gone. So, continuing on for this episode, the Legends of Tomorrow in the 1930s/40 era, trying to save Archduke Franz Ferdinand from being assassinated. Obviously, they failed to and attempted to do that. In this episode, obviously, the last previous episode, which was episode 10 last week, they obviously did, but they're trying to do that and make that happen to cause anomalies and time quakes to keep to get their Wave Rider ship back, because obviously the robotic evil twin versions of themselves that evil Gideon has created obviously is of them, so they're being hunted by themselves. They're being hunted by robot versions of themselves who are very brutal, ruthless, and who are just straight up killers. In this episode, they shot down and mowed a bunch of other time travelers who were friends to them, well, recently, obviously, so they didn't know these people personally, but they're like, considered to be strangers, but obviously so, and what we know now, obviously, is Eobard Thawne, who obviously is a Reverse Flash, is here. He's the one who is keeping the timeline intact with the situation with the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, because he's no longer a speedster. He got his powers taken away from him, obviously, after he was defeated by Barry Allen and the time variants, and the Black Flash got him and took his powers, and he's no longer obviously able to hurt anybody. Obviously, he's been punished and sentenced to basically stay in this time loop of the 1940s with the Archduke Franz Ferdinand situation, assassination, obviously attempt to take place. He told Sarah Lance that they couldn't interfere. If he died, she would have to take his place. So continue off with what they've been doing with Legends of Tomorrow, hatched plans to try to get themselves back on the ship and trick their robotic clone versions of themselves, but they're obviously not flesh and blood, they're robots, to get on the ship and to deactivate Evil Gideon. So they had to hatch plans to divide and conquer, split up the whole entire team, trick them, and that's basically what essentially they did. They tricked them and were walking around and pretending to be the evil versions of themselves. Bayrod went on the ship as his clone evil version of himself after he killed, obviously, technically Azra. She's right here. She killed the evil version of him after they tried to attack the team again because they mowed down a bunch of people. They tried to escape. Obviously, that's what took place. The rest of the team was trying to figure out plans to take, obviously, the clone versions out of themselves. That's exactly what happened. Professor Gwen Davis was able to trap a couple of them and put them in hell, which was the clone version of Azra. And obviously Zari, which Zari is right here, and Azra's right here. The clone versions of them were knocked out and obviously put in hell, and that's what happened to them. The rest of the team obviously was, like I said, sticking to the plan. So they had to mess up time. So they basically were bringing out technology like Oculus Rift. They brought a bass fish and they were showing it to the people around the town in, I think this is Germany, or where Archduke Franz Ferdinand is from. So they were creating these anomalies and screwing up time because to make sure that the evil versions of them were distracted, the clone versions of them, so they could sneak on the ship and obviously take out Evil Gideon's hardware processing system. But obviously, Bayrod couldn't do that himself because he's not the computer expert. So he obviously needed assistance. But he's very smart, but he couldn't do it himself because the only person who has access to Evil Gideon's obviously mainframe is the evil version of Zari, who is the tech person on the show, as a hacker, on the clone's ship. So she also had to pretend to be the evil version of herself, but she got caught and they got into a fight. She took her out, so the robot version of her is gone. The rest of the team was also dismantled. So besides them mowing down a bunch of innocent people, it was obviously, a little surprised with the violence that happened with that. Everybody got attacked and destroyed. All the guys, people that were there at the bar who were all time travelers, they're all gone. They're the only ones left. Eeyore Barthon, aka the Reverse Flash, was killed by Sarah Lance's evil clone, and Captain Steel, aka Nate. And so Eeyore Barthon is dead. Sarah Lance had to take his watch, and she said that she had to obviously take his place, which did not obviously happen. Nate tricked his clone version of himself, who was stupid, who's supposed to be like the big, huge meathead with his muscles looking like steroids, obviously inflatable. He tricked him, obviously, into putting the watch on, and he got zapped into the time loop, and now he's the one who's going to be in charge of the timeline there. The rest of the team was able to destroy the rest of the robots and obviously dispatch them. And in the end, evil Gideon got stabbed by Azra's evil clone, and obviously you don't see Gideon here because she's with Professor Gwen Davies back at the bar. Gideon got stabbed, so they're trying to hurry up and take her to the med bay so she can obviously recover and obviously survive, because the human version of her, if the human version of her dies, she can no longer help them as the AI system that she initially is, which obviously she has always been. She's there, like like I said, like how Apple has Siri, they have Gideon, but now Gideon is actually a human being. So if she actually dies as a human, she can't be the AI system on the ship anymore to help guide them throughout the galaxy and timeline, multiple different planets and obviously versions of the world obviously around them. So that's what happened. They destroyed basically all the team. Surprisingly, the evil clone version of Azra, who was obviously a robot, was able to survive the hellfire and was still burnt to literally her skin was melted off, obviously, but she was still able to get out of hell somehow and stab Gideon, and then she died really literally right on the floor while she was laying next to Gideon while Gideon was bleeding. And then in the next episode, they show the trailer, obviously the team rushing to get Gideon obviously help her survive, obviously. Zari obviously was able to get on the ship, and so is Azra, as their clone, as they obviously replaced their clone versions of themselves. They lied and they snuck them around the ship. They took them not long to do, because obviously everybody else was taken out. So obviously all the evil clone versions of themselves were gone. They got on the ship. Zari deactivated Gideon's mainframe. She took out all the wires from the ship, so Gideon was locked offline. They took control of the ship, so they have the Wave Rider now. The problem obviously is Gideon is bleeding. They don't know what to do with besides that. It looks like evil Gideon is still going to be obviously in charge and still going to be taking control of the ship somehow. And it looks like in the next episode, they're all locked on the ship and they can't get out. So they have to figure out a way to get out. I don't know how evil Gideon is still able to survive after they change her mainframe code. Somehow she still is able to disrupt the team. So in the next episode, which will be next week, episode 12, they're trying to figure out how to outsmart her, change the timeline so she doesn't exist, and they can obviously stick on the ship and get back home. So we don't know what's going to happen with that, but we'll have to wait and see with that. The episode was okay. Really nothing really too weird. As far as the situation with Eeyore Barthon, he obviously didn't see the whole situation coming with him being killed and whatnot, but he got tricked by him, Sarah Lance's evil clone, and Nate. So that's basically what happened. But he told the Black Hand that they still needed to go out with their plan and control the narrative, and obviously kill Archduke Franz Ferdinand still. So that obviously still happened. He did die, as history still is intact. But that was basically what happened with him. So he's gone. Sarah Lance obviously did not take his place. She wanted to take his place, but she couldn't. The whole entire team went to go fight the evil clone robot versions of themselves, even though she told them not to. It was her, Nate, Gwen Davies, and I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think it was Gary. It was her. It was Nate, Sarah Lance. I forgot who else was it. It was Nate, Sarah Lance, Professor Gwen Davies. Yeah, it was them three. They went to go help her, and I think that was it. And they got into it. They actually didn't have to fight them because she Gideon was able to shut down the evil clones. Obviously, not mainframe. She was able to trick them to take the chips at the back of their head, which obviously shut them down completely. So they were basically lifeless. So that's basically what happened. So we'll see what happens on during the rest of the show. So I have some comments down here, but this really nothing really here. I was looking at the comment section, but really, like, almost these episodes, people are saying that it's okay, it's fun, like the show is like entertaining. I think these people like literally just like are in shock and awe of how the show is, like, very obviously colorful and obviously what's the word I'm talking about? The word I say technologically driven. They're not looking at the writing. See, that's the problem. I think a lot of people, even though the ratings say otherwise, obviously some people are like, "Oh, this is the best season, and this is fun." I'm just kind of looking at it like it's not really like that, but that's just how it is. Obviously, I really will be grateful when the show is actually over because I don't want to watch it anymore. I've been watching it since it first aired. It's been 7 years now, and like I said, the first two seasons were great. But after a while, just like it's gone down the drain tremendously with the creativity lacking. I look back at the Flash and the Green Arrow, and even Black Lightning. They didn't piss me off as much as this show has because they never stopped taking themselves seriously. Even though a lot of people are like Oliver Queen is broody, he's dark, he's very not control. I would say controlling, even though he's supposed to be a leader. He was never running around here laughing and joking like nothing was serious. Like he literally got killed, shot, stabbed, had his family kidnapped, taken away from him, had his mother and father die. I've seen and watched them die. So even Barry Allen as the Flash, obviously, it was never. There's comedy on the show, but it was never a. This isn't some type of joking game like, oh my god, this villain's gonna sing and dance and have jingles and stuff like that. You don't get that on the Flash when it's the Reverse Flash or Zoom or Savitar or who else is on the show that was a bad guy, Abracadabra or even Captain Cold the Heatwave. You're like, these guys are no jokes, like they're very dangerous. So there is no, even Psych, who controls people's minds and can obviously screw with their reality. There is no, these guys are a laughing matter, they're a joke. And also even Damien Dark, who was obviously on the show just a couple of weeks ago to help Barry Allen take down obviously the Reverse Flash in the future, where he screwed up the timeline and created a reverse Flashpoint. There is no joking, laughing matter. Damien Dark's been on this show as well. So there's the villains of the past. Actually, a couple of seasons were very serious. Like I said, the last two seasons of the Legends of Tomorrow, season 6 and 7, have had what's his name, Bishop, as the villain. Previously prior seasons have not actually had him as a villain. So this is, like I said, what I said, it's bad because when you use the same villain for 2 seasons, unless he's very good, like I say, Zoom or Reverse Flash, it's not really interesting, especially if this guy's laughing, joking, making obviously jingles, singing and dancing every 5 seconds like he's a Disney Channel character. I'm just like, is this a show with 30-something-year-old people on who don't have kids on the show? Obviously, they might have them in real life. But why is this villain doing this? Obviously, it's but they wrote him to be like that because the show is supposed to be funny, laughable, comical, a kind of a very funny buddy superhero show, which is why I deemed The Legends of Tomorrow Guardians of the Galaxy 2.5, basically, which is what they have become over the last 2 seasons, with them using Bishop as the villain over and over again. I don't know if they're actually going to bring him back in the last 2 episodes, some weird reason. I don't know. I hope not. I hope he's actually done for good and we don't bring him back. Apparently, there has been articles online that Donald Faison, who was on Scrubs and who's obviously been on multiple movies, he's a very good actor. I enjoy watching him. I grew up watching him in the 90s on Clueless, the TV show, and also the movie with Alicia Silverstone. Donald Faison is supposed to be playing, rumored to be playing Booster Gold, the superhero, on the Legends of Tomorrow season 7 finale. You can look it up online yourself. Multiple articles. He's supposed to be. That's a rumor that he's playing him. They haven't confirmed his character. It's a secret because it's the last episode of the season, which is the season 7 finale. So we don't know, but he could be playing him. I don't know, but that'd be very nice if he would be on the show. If as the bad guy, I wouldn't have a problem with that because at least I know Donald Faison's a very great actor, and I don't take him. I take him. I don't take him as a joke because, like, obviously, especially if he's not joking around on the show. If he's joking around as Booster Gold, I wouldn't have a problem with that, or any other superhero. But as the villain / bad guy and replacing Bishop, it would be a joke, and I wouldn't be okay with that. But at least I know he's a better actor. I could take him more seriously than the Bishop character. Just no more villains laughing, joking around, singing, and running, jumping into some super cringy, cheesy, stupid jingle every 5 seconds with turtlenecks on and looking stupid like Bishop, who made clone versions of himself, and they try to make him to this Ultron-like character from Marvel, like, oh, you destroy me, but I uploaded my consciousness up to the cloud so I can be anywhere, like Ultron, or the transhumanist with the movie Johnny Depp, obviously. Now I can be anywhere, so I thought that was really annoying. So we'll see what happens with that on the show when it continues on next week. And like I said, there's only 2 more episodes left of this season, which is season 7. Will there be an 8th one? I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see because, like I said, the CWTV has been sold. Warner has sold them, so it's kind of in the limbo. Obviously, the whole entire network situation, and the Flash could be given 9th season. Obviously, if Grant Gustin signs a contract, hopefully, it looks like they're in talks to do that, which would mean the 9th season of the Flash would be the last one. More than likely, obviously, if they get an 8th one here, it'll be the last one too, because they're at about 110 episodes, 12 probably about. So Legends of Tomorrow has been on for a very long time. They're obviously past the syndication broadcasting of over 100 episodes, so they'll be just fine in the future, obviously. But we don't know if obviously that's gonna be the case as far as I'm saying as far as them being paid. Obviously, they will be, but as far as if the show is going to be continuing on, we don't know about that. And if these people are obviously taking off the show, will they be able to come back on other shows and in the future and, like I say, pop up with random team ups or whatnot? I can see Sarah Lance helping the Flash, obviously, and Barry Allen and them. Anybody else, I really can't see it because they don't have a strong connection to them. Sarah Lance was on Green Arrow and the Flash, obviously making appearances, so she can be obviously she could come back obviously randomly. Everybody else, not so much. You know, they don't really have a connection to the other characters besides the team ups that they did in the past, obviously. But we'll see what happens with that. But that's basically it for my review of Legends of Tomorrow. Obviously, let's see obviously what happens if their shows are even going to be renewed for 8th season. Kind of weird how randomly before it's barely the new year, and like I said, the network was sold obviously just randomly, but a lot of things are happening. Microsoft's buying up a bunch of video game other companies. AT&T and Warner are going through this whole situation with people with them selling the CWTV network. I don't know who else will be sold. Lots of people are selling their companies and stuff, and not really many mergers are happening. But like I said, people are buying up stuff like Microsoft. I think Microsoft bought Bungie, the video game company, Activision, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see what happens with that, obviously. But that's basically it. That's been my video. Let me know if you have not been watching the show for the past couple of seasons, or if you're still watching it like myself, and even though you're pissed off, you've been sticking around. Obviously, just waiting to see what's going to happen when it's obviously finally over. But we don't know. We're just going to continue to speculate. But that's basically it. And that's the end of my video. And that's all I have to say about this in regards to Legends of Tomorrow, season 7, episode 11. Again, it was an okay episode, and we'll see what happens. When the show returns next week. Obviously, there's 2 more episodes left for a total of 13 for the season, and if they will be getting season 8 for the last final season as they end it with closure, or in some type of way. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with that. Again, like I said, thanks for watching. That's all I have to say again. Thanks. Bye.